Hello everyone! Welcome to another episode Take Bottom Fight.
With
This
names.
time with name tags. Yeah, this time with name tags, because Ellie took the haters' comments very seriously. So now we have name tags.
I always do. When they're good advice,
Yeah.
or they bring up a valid point, like, who are you?
Who are you? Who are you people?
And to be fair, we don't actually say who we are.
No, we don't. Not at all. I mean, it's kind of, you'd think it would be self-evident from the Twitter.
New people wouldn't know, so it's fair.
Yeah. But anywho, yeah, today we're on the Incel arc. Apparently, it's ironic. We cover a video about how itchy anime makes you, porn addicted, incel, evilry, and then not long after that on Twitter, I see a whole bunch of people talking about this fucking video about what was the title on it again? I have to have a look now. It was something like
When
yes,
incel
it was
romance.
when incel romance is done well. ReZero and Dandadan video essay. The incel love. So using incel in our Lord 2024. The fascist empire of tracks cannot come soon enough. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're going to be covering that one today because people were talking about it. But Ali, you were saying you did a little pre-watch, and you thought, oh, it's clickbait.
Maybe.
Are we getting clickbaited today?
I didn't hear outrageous things, or porn is the source of all evil. I didn't hear
I don't
that.
think it's gonna be that kind of video. I think what it's gonna be is it's gonna be these characters are. It's like misusing the term, right? It's gonna be these characters are incels because they're nerdy and they're socially awkward, or XYZ, right? And they're just using incel because it's provocative, right? To talk about the subject, right?
By the way, to 5-0, I invite you to go to our very, very first video, which is very amateur.
It's very professional, yeah.
So by virtue, what a classic.
It's the good old days.
Let's see, what was it? Control Shift B, and yeah. Oh, I got my email. Oh, because I'm live.
No.
Never mind. No, I was doing it. Now, let me just quickly go and set the window.
You had like an hour to do stuff before the stream.
Nah, this is interacting with the audience, Nretsew.
Oh, really? Audience participation.
Look, this is the layout of our very first video ever.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look, it's magenta over here.
And to think this video is what caused you to hate slime for the rest of eternity. Oh yeah, they changed the YouTube color thing. Yeah, I don't have that because I use a custom CCS for YouTube that makes it blue, so mine's always a solid blue. I noticed it on YouTube Music though, that they changed it on you. I think it's really annoying that they don't like announce shit like that, because I actually thought my monitor was broke. I was like, why the fuck is it magenta?
So I do have a I use YouTube on the app, and there's been 2 ways the video has been minimized recently, like oddly enough, like Twitch does. Have you ever used Twitch?
Yeah, the layout, yeah.
And if you minimize it, and it's the one they have right now is actually pretty nice, but they kind of very annoyingly make it way bigger, and it blocks then other videos you might want to watch. Check out if you for next videos or whatever.
Which is counterproductive because they want to keep you fucking on the site looking at videos. So if they're blocking the videos you'd otherwise want to see, that's kind of That's not good. Wait, Dandadan still be an incel story when it gets to the romantic subplot? Maybe. I mean, it's like, we'll have to see what the definition of incel is. That's gonna be the key point, I think.
Oh yeah, 5.0 had the same minimize. Yeah, that's the. It's annoying.
Yeah. So anywho, I guess we might as well just jump right into it. Might as well just get right into it. Let's see.
You can tell me what you think of our new stream title.
Yeah.
On top of
love pretty boys become hero. All right, let me get this. I don't know if Samu's arrived or not, but it doesn't matter. You can watch.
He's been late lately. Man, he's not.
He has.
He's not on point. Or maybe we're started earlier these days.
There we go. Different can this time around.
Okay. Let's unmute the
Kiwi-based thing.
The audio first, though.
Ah, there we go. That was pretty good. All right. So, when incel romance is done well, a video essay. Let's go. Oh, that's nice of them. It's spoiler free, Elliot.
Yeah, I guess, I care more about Dandadan spoilers than ReZero, because ReZero is way ahead of what anything I actually know about.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, let's continue.
Do
for
women
reference,
exist for the gratification of men?
Opening on a strong question.
Well, the last guy might say yes.
The last guy might have some funny things to say about that. Alright, Ellie. Be honest. Do women exist for the gratification of men, Ellie?
As much as men exist for the gratification of women.
See, that is a good answer. That's actually a really good answer to that question. Because it's true, right? People, like to bring up the hypocrisy around it, where it's, oh, you can't have your sexy video game girls stuff, ooh, but then women can have fucking Kratos or whatever, and his big fucking muscles and his he's so manly, and his beard and his
Hey, Samu's here.
Samu, he is here. Look at that. You'll have to backtrack for you'll have to backtrack for your conditioning.
Like
you'll have to backtrack.
Only a minute.
You just missed it. You just missed it by that much. But yeah, so I think that's a really good answer to that question. Is I think both are like in gratification of each other, wouldn't you say? Especially when we're talking about an idealized setting.
Even just a generalized, pretty man for pretty woman for pretty man. Whatever. We don't, one doesn't exist for gratification of the other, and that's the end of the conversation. It's in the end, the sexual awakening and sexual attraction exists because.
And then you've got the pretty boys for the men and the pretty girls for the women too. It goes all around, right? I think like a lot of the talk around, the Lee sexism, right? As this is, right? Let's talk about Lee sexism. Really does kind of get caught in the weeds a little bit, and it doesn't really end up being very productive, because it's just like, obviously, like in real life, women don't actually, they don't exist for the gratification of men. But if we're talking about, anime or video games or whatever, those by definition do exist for the gratification of humanity, right?
Of people.
Yeah. And it's also kind of funny because on Twitter right now, there's like this leftist comic guy, right, going around because he made this comic which is like YouTube grifter travels back in time to roleplay the fake outrage he missed out on, and it's it's like it's this like yellow orange guy. He's like, Bayonetta, female-led franchise, woman in a suit, Miss Pac-Man, and it's obviously trying to make the point of like, you know, the people that are anti-woke or whatever going off about, you know, stuff. But the problem is, and the great irony of it is, every single one of those examples is stuff that Anita Sarkeesian went off about at the time. Because that was Anita Sarkeesian's whole thing, was like, oh, these characters are objectifying for women, causing problems and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, the Puritanism has kind of concentrated. I did see, unfortunately, on Twitter this was because I was going to my DSP toxicity for a bit.
Yeah.
And then there was just
your DSP crack cocaine.
Yeah. What was DSP up to today? And then there was this short video, this clip of people criticizing what was it, Subnautica, for having a Asian man or a black man or whatever in the water, calling it DEI.
Asians can't swim
or something. What are you talking about?
Fuck, that's fucking dumb, man. Yeah, like, I mean, like, I agree. Like, I love some of those guys, and I do think like people. I mean, I've talked about it before. People false positive a lot. What was it? It was. I know we're getting really off topic. We should get back to the video, but what was it? It was. Was it the? I can't remember if it was for Metaphor or not. It was for some fucking game where people were like saying that it was like censored or woke or whatever for some reason. I responded to the guy about it. I can't fucking remember what it was, but it was some game, and this guy was like, look, sometimes it's just a creative choice, you know, we don't know if like the decision to make the game less sexy or whatever is whatever. And I responded to it to bring up the example of like Xenoblade, right? Because you have Xenoblade 1, right, which is not like, I mean, some of the outfits are kind of sexy, right? Like, there's some shown boob here and there, right? But it's not like
everybody can be in a swimsuit.
Everyone can be in a swimsuit, right? It's not like overly sexualized, right? I would say. And then you go Xenoblade 2, and Xenoblade 2 is like, well, I mean, the people that hate sexy anime shit won't shut the fuck up about it. So, so can only assume that there's something about it that's making them get triggered, right? So we'll just say that's the sexy one. And then I vividly recall when Xenoblade I think it was before Xenoblade Chronicles 3 came out, and it was like just the trailer phase, right? I remember there were people on like my side of the fence that were going, "Oh, look, they listened to the Puritans. They desexualized the game. Oh, look, it's and I'm like, guys, look, I know we want to save the titties, right? I know we want to save the titties and the asses, right? But we don't know yet, right?
30-minute Nretsew spoilers for the first 30 minutes of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Within the first 30 minutes of gameplay, at least, you have a cutscene where everybody is naked.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, people jump the gun a lot is kind of my point, right? I think people need to kind of wait. It's better to wait and get more information, right, than to jump the gun and be wrong. Right?
Yeah, Uni can get
it's way better to just wait, because you never know. Maybe there'll be a developer interview or something where they'll say, "Hey, this is why we changed. We took feedback from the last game and desexualized the outfits or whatever, right?" Or maybe they'll just say, "No, we wanted to go with a different tone for this game that wasn't quite so goofy and wacky, so we decided to, tone down some of, we decided to change the style, right? We wanted it to feel, more like, the first game or something like that, right?"
Well,
I get what Fivo's saying.
I've played the game, so I can.
Yeah, you have an
speak
advantage
to
of playing the game, but like, I don't have to play. I don't have to have played the game to talk about what I'm talking about, though, right? Because I'm generally just talking about the reaction to.
I'm just
like,
if you want to
and
know...
people jumping the gun, right? And people jumping the gun, and Fivo makes a good point that people have been burnt, right? Yeah, I know that. I get that, right? I get that people have been burnt. And I've been burnt, right? Like I get that, but that doesn't excuse being lazy, right? Is my point, right? I don't think it excuse because when you do like false positives and you start like calling Asian people in the water woke, right? dumb shit like that. You're just becoming the straw man that the fucking SJWs or whatever what they think you are, right? And you don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to make them look like fucking crazy people, right? Not you.
Yeah.
So don't be the boy who cried wolf. Wait and see what the situation is like, and then go from there, right? That's why I try not to comment on things right away. I wait until there's been some confirmation
Also,
on shit,
yeah.
right?
You have people in chat. You have an ally in me. Here exists a uni enjoyer.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Anyway, let's see. Let's see what's the answer here from our video man. Do women exist for the gratification of men? Let's find out.
Is a question I think has a very clear answer, but for some reason, whether it is those up in the European continent claiming no mere woman can exist in their top 40 characters, except
Wait, what? Wait a minute, is this American? Is this American shitting on the Europeans, Ellie? Are you gonna sit here and take this slander?
I couldn't exactly hear what he was saying. Something.
Yeah, his audio mixing is really fucking bad. Yeah, let's go. I'll go back for you. All right. Listen carefully to what he says.
Yeah.
It's a question I think has a very clear answer, but for some reason, whether it is those up in the European continent claiming no mere woman can exist in their top 40 characters, except Ichigo's dead mom, or the mountains of
What?
Well, what?
Is that like an in joke or something? Like what does he mean?
Idea.
Like the European does he have like a European friend who like is a sexist and doesn't want to have women in his top 40 characters or whatever? Like
no idea.
Me neither. That's fucking weird.
I can't.
Ellie, do you refuse to have women in your top 40 characters?
Only by virtue that I don't actually have a top whatever characters.
I mean, yeah, like if you asked me, like Nretsew, list like your top 40 characters right now, I would really fucking struggle to come up with 40 characters. Like I'm gonna be real.
All right, so Samus, I very much like Samus as a character, so Samus is somewhere in there. Then characters that I guess
I think it's too difficult because there's so many. Like for me, because of my autism, right? I reckon if I had like a list in front of me, right? If you put like 100 characters in front of me, I would be like, okay, here's like my 40 that I actually like, right? If I could actually see them, right, and I can read them, and I go, oh yeah, I know that one. Oh yeah, I know that one. But if you're asking me to just like recall off the top of my head, like fucking 40 characters out of thin air, I'm gonna be like, no, fuck you.
Alright, so
I am not doing that.
If you're talking about characters, then I have to care about the characters, and then I go for alright, the near games. So Emil is a good character. He's male, kind of human, kind of.
Weapon thing, yeah.
Yeah, smiling skull face thing. Kaine is also indeterminate gender, so but also a good character. Do I have Geralt, Witcher guy is a good character.
but anyway, like yeah, weird comment, and I think like I don't think the American, we love shitting on Americans on the show, right? I don't think the American has room to fucking sit there and shit on a European. Don't think the Americans got got the room there.
There's a small problem that I don't
Are
actually...
we insinuating that all Europeans are sexist? Isn't that like racist or something? Oh no.
Yeah, I went to video games because it was a little bit faster for me, but
yeah, but no, we don't need to do a list. But it's like,
no.
yeah, this is a roundabout way of making a British joke. Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, like a British joke. Yeah, but it is kind of weird just to like in the opening 30 seconds of the video to just toss that in there, right? It's kind of.
Well, if it wasn't a joke at Americans, then I would understand. But
yeah,
but no.
But
actually,
anyway,
I have no why. This is I'm confused.
Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going then.
Of anime, manga, and just media in general that have a very toxic view of the role of women in society, you can't help but wonder if common decency is even common. However, the type of dynamic I want to look at is how anime use a female character to help a male character overcome their deepest of insecurities. On the outset, ReZero seems like the typical isekai experience. Literal lollygagging, harem antics, the works. And admittedly, it's that stigma that has kept me away from the genre on a greater scale. But
weak.
Cringe believing isekai is a genre.
But I think that it's like, the stigma. Oh, the stigma keeps me away from the isekais, Ellie. Oh, I can't think for myself.
All right, go watch Drifters or something.
Yeah, go watch. Actually, unironically, go watch Drifters. Like straight up. Like this is why I fucking like my problem here is this like, It's weird because I don't want to like psychoanalyze our man here too much, right? Because there's like different ways that this could go. Yeah, there's not enough yet, right? But like when he's talking about like the stigma, right, stopping him from wanting to watch the isekai, is that because he personally has like problems with those tropes because he's like, I don't know, a fucking SJW or whatever? Or is it because he's afraid of the public perception of him enjoying or watching those shows, right? Like, is he afraid of if he like watched ReZero or I don't know, fucking Overlord or name any isekai here,
I just
right?
think he would.
Is he afraid of the public going, oh, you watch those shows for the PDF files? You lollies in the show? Ooh, you're a gross gooner. You're watching gooner shows. Like, is that what the problem is, right? Because I don't like think about that when I'm deciding if I'm. Do you want to know? Ellie, you want to know my thought process if I want to watch a show or not? I look at the show, I read the synopsis, I maybe watch a trailer, and I go, yeah, that looks. Yeah, I might be into that. Yeah, cool. Like,
so, there is
the thought. So I'll let you go. I'll just finish. Like the thought of what would the community think of me never fucking crosses my mind because I don't give a shit. All right, there you go. I'm done.
Yeah. So there are stigmas that keep me away from certain genres. I never watched Precure. I never watched sports anime really, because I do have a preconceived notions of what those are and how they go. But I know people who very much enjoy those shows and show neat clips and interaction of characters. So I've seen bits and pieces that are cool and that are neat, but there is, to be fair, the preconceived notions of little girl, magical girl show does keep me away. Now, it's not, and not necessarily the debilitating amount.
Okay,
of
so my question to kind of tie into what I've ranted about, right, is that because you're afraid of what other people will think of you for watching it, or because you feel like you wouldn't be into it based on your personal tastes, right? Because of your preconceived notions.
It's more personal taste, but
yeah, that's what I thought, right? Because I don't think you'd be, I don't think you would be like afraid of like, watching something just because you don't want to like embarrass yourself or something.
I
like
can
that,
also
right?
just
It's
not
more.
tell anybody.
It's more like you're not super into shows for girls, right? In terms of like magical girl, like Precure type stuff. So you're probably not gonna watch Precure, right? Or because you
I
have the
think I
preconceived
never
notion.
told anybody that I watched Asura crying or whatever. What's another show that I Minamike? I never told anybody. I believe I watched that show. I watched those shows.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, like I said, it's like, I think that like you are right. Like, if you look at it from that perspective, like I can get where like if that's what he's talking about, it's like, oh, he's that the personal taste element, right? Which is different from like a community type. Oh, I'm
but he
being
hasn't told
shamed.
us.
I'm being shamed into not watching isekai because
Yeah,
the
but
community
he
thinks
hasn't
it's
told
cringe.
us why he's not watching.
No,
So
he hasn't.
Yeah. Most likely it is the second. He just heard bad things about them, and it's
Yeah,
all the same.
I'm
anyway.
leaning more in that direction too, but I wanted to bring up the other direction because that's also becoming more common now. Is you see people that'll be like, "Oh, I don't want to watch the show that everyone just." And of course, as Magician of D says, real men decide whether or not they watch it based on how hot the women are, right? You know.
That is an option.
All right, let's continue.
If you look closer, ReZero is less of a male power fantasy and more of a male torture porn. But none of this is unwarranted. Our protagonist, Subaru, has main character syndrome. He's essentially immortal, an ability granted by a witch in need, and he's been transported into the type of world he would indulge in through video games he would play back home alone in his room, self-exiled from everyone else. To him, it's just a game that's given him the opportunity to actually do something with his life, and where the world can finally revolve around him. You might not pick up on this as his sense of humor is derived from self-deprecation, but how much of that is a cry for attention rather than an honest description of how he feels about himself is a shockingly thin line. Subaru is a
Okay, so
That is true. That's what I feel about
Yeah.
Subaru.
yeah, I still haven't gone around to ReZero, so I can't really comment.
I did
necessarily
watch
on-
like season 1 and like 4 episodes of season 2.
I think it's interesting because like I'm having flashback. I know it always comes back down to normalities or however the fuck you say it, but I'm having flashbacks to normalities not understanding ReZero and completely getting like it wrong compared to this person who's getting it pretty much correct.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Funny how it works.
Well, yeah, because it's true. Like, it's not a male power fantasy, right? It's. I mean, I don't know if I'd say it's like male torture porn, but it's. It is. Subaru is less suffering, right? He is going through. He is going through the things, right? He has to die and come back and die and come back until he manages to get to the next checkpoint or whatever, right? That he gets given, right? So he has to kind of keep suffering and dealing with all of the consequences of his actions, right? And that kind of stuff, and learning to deal with that, right? So describing it as, I think the description is fine. I don't unless, someone who's more familiar with the work wants to chime in. I don't have any real comments on it. Based on my limited understanding of ReZero, it's pretty correct. So
yeah, Subaru very much wants to be liked, so he makes fun of himself. He makes his big personality, but actually he's very afraid of people ignoring him. Basically, that's the earlier part, and maybe he'll go into it, but there is indeed a part where he goes, "No established rule and ceremony. I'm going to do something different," and then everybody.
Yeah, I think they showed that. I think they showed that in the.
Yeah, and it's also a very brief moment.
He puts his finger in the air and he's like, "I love you. I'm gonna marry you." And then it's like, "Okay, here's the consequences of your action."
Yeah,
doing that was bad.
What in a very brief scene when they were in a big hall with a lot of people standing there. That scene's basically, "I am your knight," and they go, "No, you're not."
And everyone's like, yeah, all right, well, let's keep going. Let's see what this person's got to say.
A sinful person. His pride makes him think he deserves things just by virtue of existing. He's too slothful to actually become someone
he's
who
going
deserves.
through all the sins of those witches.
Deserves those things.
It's almost like it's part of the story. It's almost
I
like
do
it's
know.
part of the...
Oh, this was in the first episodes. Like he does gain the abilities of the people he defeats. So he does get the he defeats Sloth.
Yeah, I've seen some clips there. Apparently he's got like a whip now or some shit.
Yeah, he gets
like...
some invisible arms that he can just grab things with and slash things with. Apparently.
All right. Well,
yeah. So maybe he'll get all the sins together.
His wrath makes him throw tantrums when faced with pushback from the world, but he's too greedy to make that stop him from getting what he wants. I'm sure there are others, but we haven't gotten there yet. But like, Subaru isn't a bad person. He has qualities that are bad, caused by the insecurities cemented by his father's almost perfect masculinity, but he's still good. He makes a lot of mistakes, sure. One of those was thinking he's entitled to Emilia because of who he thinks she is and what he means to her, totally separate from who she actually is. But this scene, while making people cringe, has always been interesting to me, cause Subaru isn't wrong. Maybe sometimes his motives are selfish or naive, but he's still a hero. He still wants to save others, and he does save others. He doesn't want people to die, cause why does someone like him get to live while others have to suffer through similar insecurities he's had to claw through? That's why the scene with Rem isn't this undeserved male fantasy. Subaru saved Rem. He got involved in something that wasn't his business because he cares for other people. He urged Rem to push on, even if the guilt of her weakness holds her back. So
yeah, I mean, this is, I guess, fine. I mean, we did get clickbaited. We got clickbaited into hearing a plot summary.
Oh no, again.
Oh no, again, yeah. Also, yeah, Rem is best girl. I like Rem.
Rem is I don't know if she's best girl.
Well, she's cute. She's cute nonetheless.
Cute.
But anyway.
No, I was going to speak a little bit. I'm a little bit confused if he's talking about the first season, because there's a big moment in the first season when Rem confesses her love, and then Subaru goes, "I love Emilia," and it's Subaru, why the fuck are you going for the girl that is said no when there's a girl that says yes right in front of you? That kind of Samu, stop that. I do think that Emilia is better for Subaru than Rem, because Rem's stagnation, conforming to his wishes.
I think you've talked about this before.
Yeah, but it's been a while. So what was the last time we talked about ReZero?
Oh, I don't even fucking remember.
Well,
then again, it's not like I've watched it, so it's the same thing with online leftists who get into anime and they talk about the same 30 shows, and then they run out of content. Yeah, kind of. It's like. Because again, the point that this person's making, right? My issue right now is I don't really see how this relates to inceldom, because you have to kind of define what is Subaru actually an incel, right?
There's no thesis yet. That's kind of
there's no thesis here for this, right? All they're doing is just kind of going okay, here's what happens in ReZero. Yeah, Subaru is entitled. He's he thinks he's deserves things,
then he does things he's less deserving
then
later
and then he does things, and those things have consequences, and those consequences are bad, and then he learns from his mistakes, and then he becomes a better person, so on, so on, so on. So I don't really see the incel part of that yet, right? I guess we should probably, for context, right, we need to, define definitions, right? So, how are we as a cast, right, going to define incel, Ellie? What are we going to define as an incel? Because I would define... I prefer to define incel by its dictionary definition, I guess, which is involuntary celibate, right? I talked about this a little bit last stream, but I'll do it again just for because it's probably useful, right, for this this video. Involuntary celibate means you are not getting laid, and you're not getting laid because you believe things outside of your control are stopping you from getting laid, right? Essentially, right? Typically it's oh, I'm too ugly, oh, I'm too, shy, or oh, I'm not rich enough, or oh, I have this, and this, right? And that's the first definition part of it, right? But then there's a second component, which is the ideological component, which is when you have people that will be like, okay, I'm an involuntary celibate, and that's because women are the problem, or society is the problem, right? So if when you're calling, so for me, when someone is like, oh, Subaru is an incel, right? Okay, well, is he involuntarily celibate? Like, is he not happy about getting laid or not? What is his driving motivation to get laid? Like, I mean, he wants love, obviously, but like,
so yeah,
what's the
I'm
end game?
far
So
more...
what about you, Ellie? What's your definition, and then we'll maybe merge the two together and try and come up with what we're going to use.
So the thing is, right, Nretsew, billions of people are involuntary celibates because they want, but they can't because etc etc, right? You never heard of them because they're normal people.
But well, I mean, I don't even know if I would class like, because I think like the involuntary celibate thing requires you to actively be wanting to get the thing. If you're just passively like, oh yeah, it would be nice to get laid, but I don't like actually care all that much that I'm not getting laid, right? I think that's different, right? I think that's like a different thing.
So yeah, but textbook definition means that is celibate would rather not be. I mean, billions of people are, but we're talking about people who kind of are what I think is kind of feel not even entitlement to sex, but really to attention.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people get tripped up on.
Affection.
They think that they think that it's all about the sex. Well, if it's all about the sex, just fucking get a street hooker, mate. just go out and get a fucking prostitute or something.
What
right?
they want,
they don't want like just the sex, right? That's something that a lot of people like. We meme about it, but that's something to consider. Is like, it's not.
No,
just
they
about
are
the sex.
the incels, as we kind of understand them. Are not...
At least 50% of guys are incel, to be honest. I actually think it's probably more than that, honestly.
To the dictionary definition in that sense, but to what people think of, it's more of an entitlement to affection, attention, availability.
Yeah, and I think the entitlement is the key word there.
Yeah, that's
right?
the thing.
There's a feeling of entitlement to the thing.
Because
I think that's what differentiates like an incel from those like passive people I was talking about before. Because the passive type, right, is like, I'm not getting laid, but it's not like I'm entitled to get laid, right? Like they don't view it as like
I am the one who has to put the effort in.
Yeah. Whereas the incel is like, no, I am a man and I should be getting sex 24/7 from my girlfriend, and she should make me sandwiches in the kitchen, right? I'm entitled to this.
For everything that I do.
Yeah. Why am I not getting that stuff? Yeah. Most men do not reproduce anymore. Oh yeah, well that's getting into some other stuff. Samu's makes a good point. It's like you wouldn't call a 14-year-old an incel. It's like
Although that 14-year-old might have a conception of being if you're really cool if you're another version, and therefore he's an incel because the 14-year-old thinks it's cool to.
But Subaru doesn't think he deserves it. Well, yeah,
all right, this is the splitting of hairs and whatnot. Subaru is entitled when he's in the first episodes because
he thinks it's a game, right?
Because he's a game, because it's a toy, it's a fun, he is entitled to the riches and fames and glory and renown, kind of. He gets kind of beaten out of it, but when he moves into the mansion, he kind of regains that entitlement, and especially at the height when he declares himself knight when he's not, and he's got beaten down again. So it's kind of an up and down curve of his entitlement and entitlement of Emilia's affection and time and etc. But yeah, so he is. But if does it rise to incel?
Where's
At the
my
height when he was claiming to be his knight against all procedure and order and ritual and ceremony, yeah, that is incel behavior.
Yeah, but it's like very quickly shot down.
Yeah,
very quickly he realizes, yeah, nah, not gonna do that. Right?
no, that was wrong. She doesn't like me now. That's oh no, I
So
should stop being.
so now that I think we've kind of like nailed down what our definitions are. Let's continue the video and kind of see how close, like how video person tries to like tie this together. Let's see where we go.
In return, she asks the same thing of him. Because honestly, the series isn't about resolving Subaru's selfishness or cleansing him of his sin, it's putting those sins in a light that can actually make him more aware of other people's feelings. And in Season 2, it's about allowing other people to bear the burden of those feelings. Because being a hero isn't about allowing yourself to be used by a system that would quickly replace you, or
weird mic change there.
Recording on different days that happens.
Yeah,
I'm slightly forgiving of it, but it can't happen too much though.
I just want to hear what because it actually affected how I couldn't hear what their mic quality is. I mean, it's not like my mic's any good, but I feel like this is kind of bad. I feel like you could have done some post processing on this to make it a bit better.
I'm a little bit insecure because I think your mic sounds better than mine. And
yes, well, my mic's got a popping issue, so I notice when I listen to the streams to do clips and stuff, I've got a popping issue.
Yeah,
even though I do have a filter on it. So I don't know what the fuck's going on there. Maybe I need to put another one on, but yeah, let's listen
also,
to that again.
Samu's basically the same, definition.
Yeah. Being an incel from a colloquial standpoint is a person who desperately wants sex and love, thinks they can't get it because of reasons internal or external to themselves. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good like TLDR.
Well,
right?
mostly external though, mostly
mostly external, yeah. But he's trying to merge them together. I get what he's saying. So anyway, let's continue.
To bear the burden of those feelings. Because being a hero isn't about allowing yourself to be used by a system that would quickly replace you, or being a tool that sacrifices his sense of self for others. Being a hero is about rescuing people while letting people rescue you.
Well, maybe in a story sense.
Oh shit! Oh shit! No jump scare time.
I did see her in the skimming, but
we're going back to the past. Oh yeah. Was not expecting that. Holy shit. I mean, look, for as much as we shit on the poor girl, right? Man, did she leave a legacy.
Well, with you, at least. But...
Well, with most, no, she comes up. What was it that Jonathan dude? That Jonathan Goda, or what the fuck his name is? That guy that did the fan service video we covered that one time. He made a like fucking hour and a half video about her or some shit, defending her or something. I don't quite remember. I didn't watch it obviously, but I heard about it from some people on Twitter, and I'm like, oh god. Yes, I say her name and she appears.
How many times
she's like a demon?
Her 3 times, Nretsew? Was it 3 times?
Yeah. You say her name 3 times and she appears to give you a video essay about how evil men are or some shit. Oh, I wish there's probably archives of Digibro stuff somewhere. That would be a fun. Maybe we need to start doing that. We should do like Blast to the Past episodes where we like go back and find some like really fucking old fucking video essays from back in the day. Because I'm sure some of like Digibro's early content would be really fun to cover. But
I remember, this is an ancient, maybe not even ancient. There was one where the personalities were graphed on the charts, and it turns out.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. We talked about that back in the day. Yeah.
I don't know if it was a stream, it was not a video.
I
but
don't. Yeah, I can't. I think we. I don't know if we covered that. I think we covered that. It might be on the. It might be in the archives of our channel somewhere. We
Before
did that.
we got numbers and had a fancy look.
Yeah. Fucking hell. All right. Yeah. Wish I had archived. I'm just reading the chat real quick. All right. Well, let's hear what. I have a feeling they're gonna critique normalities here based on the description of ReZero they gave.
Based on that it is in black and white, actually.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see what they got to say. Are they going to defend her or criticize her?
He says,
"It is a man exposing the worst parts of himself to a woman, and then her unconditional love is the thing that saves him. Maybe if media could exist in a void, I wouldn't be so bothered by it. But as is, Subaru has just yelled at this girl for 10 minutes, and then she's had to do all the emotional labor to put him back together after his breakdown."
I think they're severely.
Oh, fuck me. Oh, me take it back to the past, Ellie. Oh, God.
How many years has it been? 3
Oh,
at
it's been
most,
so long.
2.
I wonder. I'm pretty sure because we uploaded. We did the cast. You and I and Unknown. We did the cast on her one of your videos, and then I think me, Bio, Unknown, Stuffy, and a bunch of other people. We did like a fucking free 4-hour cast where I just and we had to upload that to fucking we uploaded that to fucking, was it BitChute? I think it was BitChute. I don't know if it exists anymore. It might still be on BitChute, but we uploaded it on there because we got way too spicy for YouTube because we got so fucking angry at you.
Oh yeah,
I think. Oh man.
No, I wasn't interested because it was already an hour long, and it would also always start at midnight at the latest. Or earliest for me.
Yeah.
But go with at least.
But I'm remembering like watching the video and getting to like because her like talk of like emotional labor and shit, right? Like, oh, how dare Subaru have this emotional outburst at this woman, and then this woman has to deal with his emotional labor, right? How dare he? Like, oh god, she's such a fucking.
There is a kind of a problem. I don't know. I remember saying this in another ReZero video. There is this. All right, Subaru is understandably upset at times for dying a lot. However, when he is taking it out on the people around him, the people around him are going from, dude, an hour ago you were happy. What happened? Why are you angry at me suddenly? That's kind of, the problem with Subaru at times. He, the guy who was friendly with you 10 minutes ago is suddenly panicking and breaking down, and then he's angry at you for something, because in his experience, in Subaru's experience, you betrayed he betrayed Subaru for something, or stabbed him in the back, or whatever.
Yeah. But no, yeah. Well, let's see what's Video Man got to say. Let's see what they say.
Really overestimating how bad this scene actually is. The way the story uses Rem in the story is not only really respectful in my opinion, but at least compared to other stories, it has really good intentions for her. In the same way Subaru would do for her, hell, has done for her. Rem looks past all of the dirtiest qualities of Subaru, and instead of berating him, which is in her right, she ushers him to never give up and be better. Because she believes he can. Her identity isn't tied to Subaru, she chooses to save him because he saved her. And if she was the only one in the cast who would do this for Subaru, maybe I would agree, but frankly she isn't. And Subaru does the same thing for others later. It's a cycle. I think that's what's missing with female characters.
So, Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Pretty good
in
comeback to the normalities allegations. I think
so
pretty on point.
this is a first season experience, limited as it is. In the first season, Rem kind of exists to be rejected. Rem is kind of the safe option the entire season, except the times that she kills Subaru. But looking past that, she's the safe option. She's the waifu option. And
the waifu, yeah.
And it's good for Subaru to reject the waifu option, to go for something challenging, not settling down, not running away from life, from experience, etc., etc. And the story continues. So in the first season, at least, Ram kind of exists to be rejected. After she decides that Subaru is a nice guy, she kind of fairly quickly falls in love, etc., etc., and then offers the opportunity to run away.
And remember the context of him saving her. Yada yada.
Yeah,
but was that second season? I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'm gonna mix them up.
From what I understand, right? Yeah, Subaru did save her, I believe, from some plague. Spell plague kind of magical curse
something
thing.
Or another, yeah, I don't know.
And the children that she cares about, Subaru saves them. So you saved the children the village children, etc., etc.
No, Subaru is regarded. Don't intellectualize this, Ellie. You're getting called out by Sammy.
Oh no!
You're getting called out by the chat, Ellie. You're being
my limited experience.
Yeah, this is my problem too. Yeah, like because I haven't watched ReZero, I can't disprove or not disprove any of this, right? But what I can talk about is how that was a pretty good comeback to the allegations of normalities, right? Because normalities are saying, oh, Subaru is just using Rem as like a emotional dumping thing, right? All this emotional labor, but he's making the point. No. It's like a two-way kind of street here. He saved her. She respects him. She wants to save him. She takes on that emotional labor willingly. It's not just, dumped on her and then she just reacts. Like, her reaction to it is justified in the context of the show, right? And then later on, Subaru does the same for other characters as Rem did for him, right? Like, I don't think you need necessarily to have that much prior knowledge or whatnot to understand that, and I also don't think you need to overcomplicate it either, right? I think it makes sense, right? It makes sense, right? Is what I'm saying.
Well, we are past on point, if we're not nitpicking on things that we care about. I do think that in the grander scheme of characters and whatnot, Rem in the first season is a little bit shallow in that sense, and like I said, she exists to be rejected and for Subaru to actually do something in life.
Well, Ellie, that's your opinion, man, because I can't count. It's not like I can tell you you're wrong, because I haven't fucking watched it, so... Alright, I guess we're moving into other... This guy is going to talk about, why aren't other female characters like that? Or something, I guess.
Naruto is kind of famously not great with female characters.
Well, let's see what they say.
They just exist so they can pump out the main character of the sequel series. And that's not me.
That's a good one, though.
That's pretty good, I'll give him that. I don't know anything about Naruto, but that was pretty good. Alright, let's keep going.
He's saying that because in the catacombs that I call the shonen manga experience, where every woman gives their entire being, life, heart to the idea of saving that one special person they love with all of themselves, as the story does nothing to repay them, I don't know, man. I think this is kind of a step up. And by repaying, I don't just mean allow them to get what they want, because usually what they want is the security of the man who hasn't given a crap about them the entire story until it's relevant. I mean being paid with a moment in the story that they're allowed to exist outside of their male counterparts. An example of that people usually give is
Alright, so can I just pause a real quick? I'm kind of liking this guy, this channel. There's some funny,
Really now.
I choose to believe that the line "the heart" was picked on, was a deliberate choice.
What do you mean the line? What?
Oh no, there was Bleach on screen.
Right.
It was the guy on screen that had no heart.
Right.
And the line that says she's giving her heart, and I say, Nretsew, that was a deliberate point.
Okay. All right. But like, talking about kind of what he's talking about, like it is a classic like shonen kind of thing where the female characters don't get as much like screen time or existing outside of the male characters. But I feel like my issue with that critique a lot of the time is the female characters are side characters a lot of the time at the end of the day, right? And I mean, it is cool and fine if they get their own moments and they get their own stuff in the story, but the story's not about them, right? Like if you had like, let's say, a shonen manga that had a female protagonist and the male characters were, side characters, I would measure a guess that the male characters would get the same amount of screen time that female characters get in a male-led anime, right? It's just because it's it's just because it's a female, and for some reason women have to be treated special or some shit, right?
I do feel right there is a point wherein how much of Bleach have you watched in the years or no?
Well, I watched the first season. I think I actually have that on DVD somewhere.
Yeah.
I watched the first season of Bleach, but I'd never continued Bleach after that.
No, I never really watched much of Bleach either. But I do feel right that the females are being repaid in the guy smiled.
Okay, so my problem then is that's a criticism of Bleach, right? That's not a criticism of every single shonen that ever existed or will exist, right?
No.
That's where I have a problem with. I don't want to say these people because I don't know if this person's actually doing that or if they're just describing that phenomenon, right? And is about to counter it by talking about My Hero Academia, possibly, right? Like, I see that a lot. I see people being like, oh, this is like, it's a generalization, right? It's, oh, female characters in shonen anime are all treated the same, right? And to some extent, I could agree that yes, they're treated not the same and that they don't get maybe as much screen time, right? But like I just mentioned, there's a reason for that. Because they're side characters, right? All the side characters get that treatment because they're not the protagonist, right? It's not like a specific thing just because, they're women, right? So if you're like saying, yeah, in Bleach, right? If you're going to use Bleach as an example, again, haven't continued Bleach since for a long time, right? If you're going to use Bleach, if you're going to say, like, I wouldn't have a problem with someone saying, oh, the female characters in Bleach are, only rewarded with the male smiling at them for all of the suffering that they go through for the male characters, right? I would go, yeah, that's valid, I guess, right? I don't know, I haven't watched it, but all right, I get, I can see the through line. It's when you cross that line and you go into, okay, every shonen anime is like that, right? It's kind of like with isekai, right? It's like, oh, one isekai has a thing, all of them have the thing, right? Right? It's the same problem.
Yeah. It's always I don't know it as well, so I'm more willing to generalize. It's the fact of life, unfortunately. There is, I feel, from what I know, a far greater amount of female characters that are happy with the male characters just smiling at them. Sakura from Naruto is basically the whole thing. And what I feel from male side characters that they are not settling for a smile. They are settling for, no, I want to be rich, I want to be powerful, I want to be blah 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 blah.
Again, I think it kind of depends on the show. That's the problem. Like it,
Yeah, it does depend on the show.
I don't necessarily like, and again, like, I feel like if you actually looked at a lot of these shows in context, it probably wouldn't be as simple as you're making it out. That's kind of the problem. But anyway, let's hear about My Hero Academia, I guess, because I kind of know about I actually, holy shit! I wanted to go back just so I could start from the beginning of that section. Holy shit! A show I actually have fucking watched, and I am watching, even though I don't talk about it, because I don't talk about the fact that I'm watching My Hero, but I am because I'm gonna finish it.
And you're watching more than me, so
it's getting kind of fucking wild. I'll say that much. Also, Rip, what was her name? Fucking Toa, Rip Toa, the Blood Girl, Rip, Rip.
I think anyway, I just like yesterday discovered she has a cloning ability.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's hear what this person's got to say about My Hero. Let's hear it.
An example of that people usually give is Ochako, a character whose relationship to her favorite boy is 1 or 2 conversations in arc and no endgame material. Sorry, anime onlys, but don't get your hopes up. Finally, a woman who can.
Oh, look, yeah, look, they're even showing it. Yeah, and it's true. Like she is definitely into him and has a crush on him, but it doesn't really show up a lot in the series, and she doesn't like. Because My Hero Academia has, like, so many fucking characters. Like, it has a whole class, right? The whole class of characters. And you'll have, like, some of them will get some screen, like an arc or a screen. Like, you know, some of them will get some, you know, their moments to shine. Some of them are literally just there to kind of be side characters, right? So, it's, you know, they all kind of get treated. Yeah, they all kind of get treated kind of the same, right? This girl included, not Toa, but the Gravity Girl. Yeah, they all kind of get the same treatment, so it's male or female. So yeah, but I'm kind of interested what they're gonna say about this. So hang on.
Yeah,
because I want to get the full context. So I'm not reacting out of context.
Sorry, anime onlys, but don't get your hopes up. Finally, a woman who can exist outside of the male main character. Except when she does, she makes an utter embarrassment out of her goal and doesn't succeed in the slightest. And that's just one.
Whoa! Wait a minute. Okay. So she kind of does, she kind of doesn't, because her whole goal, because the dynamic between Toa and her
Speedy Boy
like,
and
no. So Toa is like considered a freak, right? She's into blood. She likes blood. She drinks blood. Drinking blood allows her to do cloning stuff. That's her quirk, right? So she's into blood. She like, you know, and her whole thing is like she just wants to be able to live her life. But the problem is her being able to live her life is she likes killing people.
Oh no.
Right? So there's this problem, and like there's a lot of like in the final, like in a lot of this final part of this arc, right? You find out more about Toa and how she was ostracized by her parents, abused by her parents because she's weird, right? And all this kind of stuff. And our hero character wants to save Toa and be like, no, it's okay to be weird. I'll save you. I mean, I can't forgive all the things that you've done and you know, and whatnot, but I will at least be there to listen to you and be a friend, right? I will be the friend that you never had, right? And I can't replace the friends that you did have that are all getting their shit kicked in because the villains are getting their shit kicked in. But I can at least, I will say that your smile is pretty, right? And that we could talk about romance together, right? Because we're girls and girl power, girlfriends, right? And then the tragedy of it is that Gravity Girl gets stabbed, right? And our girl kind of runs out of juice for her super ability, and they're falling out of the sky and they land on the ground, and Gravity Girl is bleeding out, right? And what Toa does as her like final act is if she clones into someone, it's like on a genetic level as well, so her blood would turn into Gravity Girl's blood. So she turns into Gravity Girl so that she can siphon her blood into Gravity Girl so Gravity Girl doesn't die while she stitches up Gravity Girl's stab wound that, Toa inflicted, right? And basically, I believe that Toa dies. It's kind of unclear whether or not she
I
actually
don't
dies
think-
or not, but
it feels
it's
like she
implied that
wants.
Toa dies. It's implied that she dies in this scene, and because she gives all of her blood to Gravity Girl and does that as like a last sacrifice type thing. So while it's true that Gravity Girl kind of failed, I feel like he's being a bit too kind of dismissive in it, because at the end of the day, it was Toa's own choice, and that was actually kind of the point. Was like to get Toa, like Toa, you need to you need to do stuff, do the things that you want to do, make your own choices, that kind of stuff. Cutest in the world, cutest in the world. Someone else has been watching it.
Or reading.
Toga. I've been saying it wrong the whole time, but it's just because fucking.
There's more things you're saying wrong all the time. Nretsew, don't worry.
Yeah, shut up, Ellie. but no, my thing is like I feel like he's being a bit dismissive here. I feel.
I can deal with a little bit dismissive.
Yeah, I can kind of deal with it too, but I wanted to kind of give a bit more context, because I actually did think it was quite well done. Right, it was quite interesting. The dynamic that these two had. And I mean, I guess you could say, it's a dynamic that exists outside of the male main character, right? And it's a good example of that. Despite the fact that people will like say, "Oh, My Hero Academia doesn't do that." Yeah, it does do that, right? So I kind of get why he's bringing it up, but it's interesting stuff.
The one thing she tried outside of the male character kind of feels. That was the point anyhow, how it started.
All right, well let's continue.
Half of the new gen dynamic duo. I wish I can go into detail about how Jujutsu Kaisen treats its female cast, but let's just say if you're saddened by the lost potential of Nobara.
No, I when skimming I saw this part.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know anything
you'll see
about
how
Jujutsu,
they treat the female characters.
Yeah, well, I know about this. I know what happens to the female characters, but I'm just no, I don't. Again, I honestly think people fucking suck Jujutsu Kaisen's cock way too fucking hard, right? Like people fucking treat it's like Vinland Saga, right? Where it's like people fucking just hype that shit up way too fucking hard. Like, Jesus, calm down. Like, it's good, right? I'm not gonna say it's bad. I mean, I haven't watched it, but I know it's good, right? But just like fucking chill. Like, it's not. Calm down.
I saw the logo and I thought the logo looked bad, so I didn't watch it. And now people said it's good, and I thought, wow, I'm watching other good stuff. I don't need it. And now I'm hearing people saying that the ending is bad, so I'm justified in not watching
You're just
it.
vindicated, vindicated. No, I don't know anything about it, but I just think that people give it way too fucking much credit. Like Magician D just said, people give it way too fucking much credit. It's not this fucking, it's the saintly anime. Oh, it doesn't objectify the woman. Oh, it treats the woman with respect. Oh, it da-da-da. Oh, ba-da-ba-da. Oh, so, fuck off. Anyway.
I do have to say,
just assume the same.
Oh, yeah. There's always the female character.
Boom! Headshot. Anyway, what were you going to say before we continue?
Small hammers as a weapon is cool.
But anyways,
thing will happen to your favorite girl. Honestly, the best examples of good female characters we have in popular.
Oh, look, it's another one that everyone sucks. Oh, Chainsaw Man, it's so meh.
You like Chainsaw Man?
I mean, I like the manga. I do like the manga of Chainsaw Man. The anime was kind of shit, but I do like the. Well, like I said, it's Chainsaw Mid, right? I do like the manga. The manga's, but like right now they're fighting again. Well, they've been transported to the age devil dimension or something where no one like ages, and they start going insane because they've been there for thousands of years without aging. And there's this guy who's in his underwear who's like, "I've been here for 85 years. You're just a hallucination." It's coming, and then he like starts climbing the tree and just starts screaming. Yeah, he's like, "You're not real." It's fucking great. But it's like the guy has like a normal conversation and he seems normal at first, even though he's like in his underwear or something. And he's like, because the chick's like, "Where the fuck am I?" "Oh, you're in the age devil dimension." And it's like, "Oh, how long have you been here?" "I've been here 85 years. "Oh, what's that noise?" "Oh, it's coming." Oh, it's not like it matters anyway because you're just a hallucination." It's great. That's great. That's good. Yeah, I like what's his name, Fujimoto, or I think that's how you pronounce
Yeah,
it.
the author, right?
I like him. I like him because he's fucking goofy, right? He's like, everyone has this like weird idea about him because they only read like these people. Well, not maybe these people, but people that like suck Chainsaw Man off, right? About it being like, oh, it's so great because of the woman, the representation, and all. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, Fujimoto would never do anything, you know, weird or wacky. And then you like hear about like he was asked in an interview recently, hey, since you were coming up with the idea for Chainsaw Man while you were working on Fire Punch, what are you coming up with a new idea for a manga? And he's like, all right, hold my beer, right? I'm gonna do a love story where there's a bunch of heroines going after one guy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm paraphrasing here, by the way. He didn't say it like this, but I'm making it sound funnier, right? So he's like, there's a bunch of girls, right? And they're going after one guy, but then he picks his true love, and they get married and they hook up, and all the other girls, they commit suicide and become ghosts and haunt the couple, and then it's going to be all about that. It's going to be cool, right? It's going to be awesome.
This reminds me, right?
Yeah.
The author of Beastar.
Oh yeah, I saw this. Yeah, I saw this.
Let me talk, Nretsew. You talk too much.
I'll let you explain it.
So
yeah,
the author of Beastars is the daughter of Baki, right?
The Baki author.
Yeah, the Baki author has a daughter, and the daughter was writing Beastars.
All right.
Now she's starting a new manga where, if I remember correctly, there's kind of basically a married woman having sex with the husband, suddenly ghosts molests her. And and that's what I know from the new manga.
Everyone's been calling it like the ghost cuck manga. It does sound very similar to what Fujimoto was coming up with, but except it was like jealous women haunting.
Well, it is a jealous man in some way.
Maybe I don't know the synopsis, but what I mean by this is like people have this idea of who Fujimoto is, like, oh, he's this pure and he respects the woman, and it's like, no, he's a fucking goofball, guys. He's one of the other things that gets me about it is, like, you know, if you read some of his one shots, I've mentioned this on Twitter before, but maybe on the cast as well. But if you read, he has like this one shot. It's in like a collection of one shots that he did, where it's like, this artist girl draws her sister naked, and it wins a competition and has to be up in the school hall for the entire year. And the story is kind of like, the reason the sister did it is because she admires the sister because they're both artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it ends with the sister that was drawn naked draws herself naked and beats the other sister in the competition. It's really good. It's really good. I'll give it. It's like really short. It's worth the read. Like, but that's the kind of stuff that, like, and there's other examples of some of like Fujimoto's work as
this
well.
Almost sounds like how Junji Ito comes up with new horror chapters.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, people. Yeah, I think that people, you know, they read a work, right, and then they get really weird perceptions about an author from the work, right? Like, they think the author is a certain way, right, based on how the work goes, when that's usually not the case. But anyhow, let's get. Right, it's time for Chainsaw Man cock sucking hour, I guess.
One last comment on Chainsaw Man for me. Sorry, I'm eating apples. Very rudely. Right. My impression of the author of Chainsaw Man is a very silly man.
He is a very silly man. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. He's into femdom, so he's flat out like mentioned that he just likes strong women that could beat shit. Like, what was the interview? Like, there was like, I remember seeing the quote going around. It was something like, because someone like asked him like, oh, I just really like manipulative, powerful women that trample on men or some shit. It's like it's very clear that he's like talking about it in a sexual manner, and I'm like, yeah, this is your champion of feminism, right? Yeah, he's a very goofy. He is a very goofy man. He's very goofy.
Both can be true at the same time. And yes,
both can be true at the same time. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and I'm not knocking the man. I'm not shaming him. You know, everyone's into what they're into. You know?
Beware, you don't.
My issue doesn't come from him. My issue comes from people that like think, you know, oh, he's not horny, right? Like he'd never do anything sexual in Chainsaw Man, and then he has like an entire lesbian orgy fucking spread. Fucking fuck. But anyway, let's Chainsaw Man cocksucking now.
Shonen right now are Chainsaw Man, with its women being the abusers and not the abusees for once. So there's that. Black Clover, where Noelle is probably the best character in the story because of the depth Tabata afforded her familial subplot. Well, until he didn't. And Demon.
I mean, Black Clover was alright. I'm wondering when they're gonna finish up the anime because I'm waiting for the final season.
I have not seen a single bit of Black Clover.
I actually kind of like Black Clover. It fills that kind of like shonen brain rot kind of space in my head. It's got some really weird lore. And it's kind of interesting, and the magic system is quite fun. So I like the Black Clover. I like the Black Clover. I think it's pretty good. So.
Also,
never reveal your true names.
Yeah, because 5-0 did a suggestion.
Yeah, and then Demon Slayer. Right, yeah, that's Demon Slayer time.
Never watched Demon Slayer. Also,
I watched the first season, and that was it. So
Demon Slayer. Yo, why the f is that the clip that's playing? This is to say nothing about how the big three treat its women. If you're not hypersexualized in Bleach, you're lying in wait for a man. Whether it's the abusive brother who, despite the series never allowing a proper reconciliation for on screen, you're shown to be obsessed with the approval of, or having your willingness to being used be applauded by the story because that's what makes you have a heart. Yeah, women in Bleach can't really catch a break either. So take your pick. Would you rather a woman give and give until all that's left are boobs to squeeze, or a woman who tells a terrible person to stop being a terrible person?
Maybe because I'm eating. It's very rude. But that arm was very funny. We will go like back 1 second.
I'm not gonna do art critique because oh yeah, you're right. I'm not okay. I don't want to be mean because I mean it's not like my avatar's drawn that great either because it's from like fucking 5 years ago. So I have to draw something new for it. But like, yeah. Oh god, this is gonna be really mean. This is probably gonna be the meanest fucking insult I've ever given to anyone. But you know what this style reminds me of?
I wouldn't. No.
Soulless corporate bullshit. Have you ever seen those like fucking like the YouTube, like when you got like the YouTube artworks or whatever when they're advertising something on YouTube and it's like blocky people.
It's got the soul. I feel the soul.
Yeah. No, I think I know. That's why I'm saying it reminds me of it. I'm not saying it is, right? It's just because it's like the blocky style and the like basic shapes,
very long
right?
Arms.
And the long arms, yeah, like it reminds me of that corporate like, oh, we need to like draw a human, but we're gonna use like simplistic geometric shapes and shit to draw the human, right? So yeah, I'm kind of that's what it reminds me of, even though yeah, like I said, that's mean. I don't want to be that mean. Like honestly, that's even more mean than like shitting on the artwork is to say it reminds you of that. God.
You know, for some reason, I don't mind this art, though. It's I
don't mind it either. Like, I don't have a problem with it.
No, I've seen better arts that I had more problems with than this one.
All right, well, let's continue.
Person to stop being a terrible person.
Jeez, so this is like the Detroit of this universe?
Is Detroit a decrepit wasteland infested with malnourished children and toothless hookers?
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually, you know what?
Okay, that wasn't funny, but okay.
No. Too American.
Weird joke to put it.
My
Weird.
misogynist brain, European brain, couldn't catch that joke.
yeah. Your misogynist European
There was a
brain
woman talking
can't...
back. I couldn't handle.
God. All right. Well, now I'm talking about a show that we're going to be talking about in a minute. So let's hear about Dandadan.
It's funny. Anime out right now that has the whole male who's the emotional damsel in distress trope. Dandadan is a lot of things. It's better than Chainsaw Man, for one.
Hey!
Ooh.
We went from cocksucker Chainsaw Man to shitting on Chainsaw Man. Good. Anyway, let's continue.
But for the most part, it's a really good zany romantic comedy. What happens when ADHD meets autism type shit. But in the first episode, it actually has what I'm talking about. See, Ken... Sorry, didn't mean to. Okarun is a loner. He's kind of a freak because he's so quiet and nerdy. His love for aliens comes from the fact that literally no one on Earth would want to be his friend. But that changes when a woman comes into his life. If it wasn't for Momo, Okarun could have definitely turned out like Subaru, an obsessive, insecure neek who only cares for himself. So obviously Momo is just a muse for Okarun's desires as a man, right? But that's not true at all. Cause again, in this instance, they save each other. Cause as a Guru, no one really treats Momo properly. This is compounded by her also getting bullied as a kid, for her family's fascination with spirits and espers. So it's not like Momo only exists as someone whose entire being is about saving Okarun.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I hate it when we get to these parts where it's like just, oh, I'm just going to explain the premise, because it's like, well, what do I say to this, right? Like, yeah, he's right, I guess.
yeah. It's kind of, we or at least I talked a lot about how they are very much both main characters, having a fight scene where they fight their own battles and whatnot. So yeah, I'm already on board with Momo is very much her own character that doesn't really exist for
but
Okarun.
that kind of loops back to what I was saying about the perception that all shonen female characters are like not given the spotlight and whatnot, because obviously when you're a side character you're not going to be given the spotlight in comparison to this situation where no, she is a main character. She is not a side character, right?
Mm-hmm.
She is part of the main cast. She probably is arguably more of a main character than the guy is, even though I agree with you that they're both kind of equals, right?
Right now she's a little bit more, I feel, but
a little bit more. Yeah, well, that's probably just because she's more assertive, right? Which also I think has something to do with it, right? It's the assertiveness of the character. So, I kind of. I feel like the complaint, right? It's almost like when people talk about the shonen thing, it's like they're complaining about shonen not being a thing that it's not, right? Like, yeah, if a side character is a female, they're gonna get treated like a side character, even if they're a female, right? Like, they're not gonna become the main character just
from
because
what I
they're
understood, right? It was not so much that the female side characters are side characters and therefore get less screen time. It's more that their motivations are the laugh of the male character or whatnot. They don't really have, ambitions.
But my argument is I think most of that is due to the fact that they're side characters. Because it's like you're not going to be able to flesh out those motivations in a side character, are you? How much focus do you really want to put on that, right?
So
it's kind of what I'm saying.
it's been years, right? I'm thinking of something like a fairy tale. And not that I remember any bit of it really, but I don't recall the male characters having a desire of something a little bit of affection. They wanted some power, they wanted some ability, they wanted some money.
Again, I'm gonna just loop back to what I said before about, okay, you have criticisms of Fairy Tail or you have criticisms of Bleach or whatever, and those criticisms may or may not be valid, right? Don't know, not watched, right?
My Fairy Tail criticism
man, we should have just renamed the stream. We talk about shows we never watch, right? Because that's 90% of what we've been saying. It's like, oh, we got to talk about shit that we have no fucking prior context for, right? But like, yeah, you can have criticisms of those shows. My issue comes again when it's generalized, when it's like, we're going to make a generalized statement that everything is like this, right? Like, I think, because I think that's just reductive and it doesn't look at the contexts of the work itself, right? It's like, again, isekai. Isekai is a genre, perception, it's trash. Generalized, it's trash. Therefore, doesn't matter if it's actually good, still trash, right? That's why I have a problem with what people do with shonen stuff, right? Where it's like, oh, female characters in shonen, bad, bland, no motivation, they're for eye candy, bad. Then one will come along, like maybe the My Hero Academia example, that's like, you know, oh, she actually is her own character with her own motivations and her own arc and her own shit, right? And then, but people will still go, it's bad, right? That's kind of the problem.
Yeah,
But
well,
anywho,
if I'm
we're almost done. We got about a minute left. So
can I'll go back.
all right, you make a point and then we'll continue.
Yeah. So all right. So even we like a show, Nretsew, don't worry. Even something like Oshinoko, right? I can kind of forgive Kana for her character, or she's she has a crush and very much feels like a crush. But I feel that Akane is kind of not unrealistic. That's a wrong term. She's kind of put into a little box that says you'll be supporting Aqua without much in return for it.
But I think in the context of the story, though, it kind of makes sense because
saving from suicide.
Yeah, well, I mean, fuck, that's pretty big. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
but I also think that leads to her being a bit mentally unstable to begin with, right? So she's latching on, like, the way I perceive that relationship is it's kind of like a two-way street, right? Obviously, Aqua is using her, right, for whatever he wants to use her for, like getting industry contacts, getting gigs, that kind of thing. But she is also using him. And I think, to kind of go back to talk about Oshinoko for a minute, that's emphasized in the fact that she's like, do I tell him about the loophole or not? Because if I tell him about the loophole, then yeah, he'll need me again and he'll stay with me. But if I don't tell him, then that means he can go on and live a normal life and not have to worry about the revenge anymore, right? And she's conflicted about that. And she's like, she's basically deciding whether or not she wants to use him or not, right? So I kind of view it as like a two-way street kind of deal with those two, right? They're both sort of using each other for different reasons, right? But anywho.
Yeah, I mean, I'm let's just say I sympathize with the view that the female characters, side characters, get a little bit less, material value for their efforts. And
my argument, to cap it off and then we'll move on, is I think it depends on the context. I think you have to look at it contextually, and what how the character actually acts. But anywho, let's go!
They genuinely love each other, and their united special interests, along with the series' comedic shenanigans, ensure that they can't really be apart from one another because they would just be left in this big, scary sci-fi world by themselves. I gotta be honest, I don't think this is a male, female, or incel issue. A lot of media tend to relegate characters into a certain role, and those characters can never exist outside of those roles. But just because a person is kind of...
channel, a video.
I think that was for another video.
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen.
But I mean, it's funny because they're kind of making your point about characters filling roles rather than being characters, right? They're kind of making what you were just talking about. Which, again, it's like I'm not disagreeing with that point. I'm more saying like I think that you have to like look at things in context before you make that judgment, right? Because could be right. Could be that the character is just there to be, a token or whatever. But you wouldn't know unless you actually knew the context.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Nretsew, I read a fair bit of Oshinoko. If I saying I feel that Akane is kind of more filling a character, too wise than...
Yeah, you have more context than I do, so maybe you're more correct than I am, and maybe I'll change my opinion as the series goes on, right?
Or not. This is just a view of a kind of a meta view of a character, not even
Yeah, exactly.
if I like
Yeah.
the character or not, more for the
Yeah,
purpose
yeah,
of the
exactly.
character.
Exactly. All right, let's go. Let's go.
If to sway someone from their toxic behavior, that doesn't mean the value of that person plummets and that they're just a vessel for other people. Being someone who helps, being someone who's able to forgive someone's worst tendencies so that they can be motivated to change for the better, doesn't have to come at the cost of who you are, your autonomy, or your happiness. It doesn't have to erase your worth. Not a lot of stories get that, but I'm so glad these at least do.
All right.
Where's
We still got like 20 seconds left, so I'm kind of like, okay, all right. Is it gonna? Oh, there we go.
right,
I
all
guess.
right.
There
complaint?
we go.
I have a complaint, Nretsew.
What is your complaint? What do you got for me?
The title is complete clickbait.
I was gonna say that too. Yeah, like straight up, like not. I wouldn't say. Man, My Hero Academia, a shallow waste of time, 1 hour. Holy
Ooh.
shit. Holy
An
shit.
hour long or 50 minutes. The rest of you can watch that on your own.
No, I'm not watching that on my own. I don't care. I mean, I wouldn't say Hero Arc is a waste of time, but I mean, it's not good. I'll say that much. So I wouldn't say it's great. I like Black Clover more, right? I'll just say that. If I'm going to talk about shonen, right, I like Black Clover more. But to talk about the actual video, I agree. Very, very clickbait. Bad. I've got the newspaper. I'm slapping the dog with the newspaper. Bad boy. Bad.
I have
Bad.
an actual
Down.
spray of water from here.
So you spray of water on the cat, right? Just squirt, squirt. Bad. No clickbait. But in terms of the video itself, it wasn't terrible, right? I feel it lacks a bit of a thesis, though.
Yeah.
Right? Like it lacks a. Okay, what is an incel? How are these characters incels? Right? You know, what makes someone an incel? How does the story deal with the fact that they are acting like an incel, right? Because I figure that could have been an interesting topic to kind of talk about, right? Like, is there an anime character that you could describe as an actual incel, right? But of course we don't really get into that. It kind of is like, I don't know, 60% plot summary, right? And then the rest of it is just kind of talking about, oh, you know, women get treated as tokens in some shows and that's bad, and then in some shows they're not and that's good, and you know.
The thing is though, it was all kind of reasonable complaints.
Yeah, it was reasonable. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was like, that's why I mean, like, it's not bad, right? It's not a bad video, but it definitely lacked, I guess, focus, I guess would be the way to put it. Like, it lacked a cohesive through line, and I haven't really come away from the video with any, like, overarching point, right? So yeah, that's kind of my final thoughts.
Treated badly in character in the universe and as characters. Dandadan is cool though.
Yeah, that was the weird thing. They bring up Dandadan. They bring up Dandadan and then just like for 3 seconds, and then it's gone.
Also, people are too harsh on ReZero.
Yeah, I guess that's like the two.
Too harsh on ReZero, but most female characters aren't treated as well. Dandadan is cool though.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's kind of, yeah. Unless you've got any more final thoughts, I don't really have anything else to add to that.
I was hoping for a little bit more in any direction, really.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. That's why I say it feels unfocused, right? Like there's no one way or another, right? In a sense, it feels kind of. All right, sorry, I'll let you finish.
Yeah, no, I don't think I was going to say much more actually. But if I just go, because I'm in here anyway. We're going back. Manime Matt. We always had fun with Manime Matt. Had something.
Yeah, it was fun because he always had something that was wrong, right?
But he has had something to say.
Yeah.
All right, and this is this is something to say, and most of that was don't be mean to ReZero, but maybe define what incel is to you. Define how people are mislabeling maybe Subaru to be one, or there was a good understanding of characters there. maybe go a little bit more into character analysis and less on plot summary. Because
I agree.
I think you could expand Dandadan a lot more by doing character analysis, even with like the 2 episodes or the 3 episodes that are out.
Yeah, I agree. I actually really agree with that because I think a big issue a lot of anti-tubers fall into is that plot summary thing. And I think it could be because they see like Mother's Basement do it, or they see other people do it. And, obviously Mother's Basement has the views and the sponsorships and the big money, right? The big Patreons and the big thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they think, oh, that's the style that I need to do. I just need to do the plot summary, right? And then I'll be big. But it's like, no, because like, the plot summary is like only really hyper necessary for people that haven't watched a show, right? Because if I'm like already watching a show, I don't need the plot re-summarized to me. I already know what the fuck's going on, right? I want to know what you think about this character. What is this character? What is your analysis of this character? That kind. That how does the that kind of thing? That kind of thing is fun, right? That's interesting, right? But when it's just this happened and this character did this and this character did that, and Subaru is entitled, and then he gets and then he saves Rem and Rem saves him, and no, right? And I'm just kind of all right.
I follow, yeah. The highlight for the video in that sense was kind of just character analysis of Subaru, because I could even was it when when the explanation came of Subaru's and Rem's interactions and how much they love, etc. or whatever, I came up with, well, actually I think this happens, and then I went to my own character analysis.
Well, actually.
But then there's room to discuss, room to disagree, and talk about the characters. If you just talk about synopsis, you can there's little else to discuss about. So to repeat myself for the last time, more character analysis, less summary, less episode or story summaries. And Dandadan is cool. Talk more about it. It's hot.
Yeah.
Hot.
Let's talk more about it right now.
Ooh.
Segue.
Hey,
Let's talk more about it right now. So this episode of it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I thought it was quite fun. We got to meet Hot Grandma, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that what we're gonna call her? Hot Grandma. Great grandma with a weird hairdo. She's got a very funky hairstyle going on there. It's quite a
tropical tree style.
So we're introduced to her as a fake spirit medium, even though she's not a fake spirit medium.
We already know what is false because story says so.
we already kind of can gather that. Yeah, and then she comes in and beats the shit out of the Turbo Granny. It's like, yeah. She's got kind of that, delinquent Yakuza vibe, right? With the
I heard this elsewhere in Nretsew, but I kind of can feel it, right? Because in the flashback, she's, dressed in all traditional like. And now she's dressed very non-traditional like, with, coats and sling bikinis and whatnot, and her hair the exact opposite direction of what she wore previously. Somebody says maybe this is a kind of attempt to reconnect with her daughter, who is, very much into the fashion and whatnot.
Could be. But we also see that she's very aloof, I guess, in the interactions with the granddaughter a little bit. So although she does obviously care for her, right? But we see like she's a little bit.
Yeah, she tucked the granddaughter back into bed.
Yeah.
Pajamas and all, so she cares.
Yeah, she cares. So, but we get introduced to the grandma character. There was a little bit of funny. People were on Twitter like there was this one guy who was like safe horny, gassing up the hot grandma.
All right,
using the dub clip. where she's got literally the most predictable voice you could possibly have for this kind of character, because English VAs only have like 3 settings, right? In terms of like what they can sound like. So yeah, that was kind of funny. But no, I think she seems like a fun character. I'm interested to kind of see where she goes, right? How the story kind of progresses.
Yeah, the character.
Let's kind of loop back
as a character. All right, I'll say something about her character. As a character, right? She turns up and goes, "All right, I'm going to kill you," and then she doesn't kill. Then she goes, "All right, do this thing. I don't care." And then she goes, "Nah, let me fight you as well. Let me in this, race to the toilet. I'm going to have fun and do that also. Also, I'm going to laugh in the worst laugh ever at my stupid comedy TV show."
Yeah, the samurai funny samurai thing, television comedy thing, mob.
Yeah, but I wanted to kind of go quickly show my appreciation of, Momo thinks Okurun is dead, or gravely injured at least.
Yeah, and she panics. She's like, "Oh no! What, did you kill him? Did you kill him?" No, he's in the shrine.
Go watch. You can see for yourself over there.
Yeah, off you go. And she's like, and then he's like, "Fine," and she just closes the door. It's like, no.
Because this feels very much like the puberty, the sexual awakening, affection, friendship, and all that stuff. Because she was so worried.
She's very, 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 very worried. Very clearly
so worried. And the moment she saw that he's okay, she didn't want him to see that she was so worried. Somewhere else in a server that is in Dutch Nretsew, so you can't even read it.
Dutch anime fan.
Dutch stuff. Yeah. I said somewhere this is about making friends, trying out friends, boyfriends, girlfriends. Sex is suddenly a factor. Suddenly you're a sexual being, wanting to be seen, not wanting to be seen. And this episode's almost, has most of it. Or no, like the past 3 episodes has most of it. Wanting to make friends, trying out boyfriends for Momo. Sex is suddenly a factor from, hey, I want to fuck you. Suddenly you're you're a sexual being, like, hey, I'm going to have sex with you, I'm going to suck off, you can suck my tits. You want to be seen because Okurun wants to be seen a lot, and suddenly Nretsew, how hypocritical. Now he doesn't want to be seen. Why doesn't he want to be seen, Nretsew?
A lot of contradictions going on.
Yeah, but why doesn't he want to be seen after wanting to be seen so much?
I wonder. So kind of moving on with the episode a little bit. So we're kind of getting, this is like establishment, right? We're like,
still
okay,
established.
We're still an establishment, and we're kind of like, okay, let's talk. We're going to talk about training time. You guys got to defeat the Turbo Granny. You're going to have to play tag with the Turbo Granny.
You have to train, do some sets.
The Turbo Granny has merged with another spirit that was living in the tunnel or something, and it's become super powerful. But it's only super powerful if it's in its home base location. If we can trick it into, if we can trick it into leaving the cave area town, then maybe we can. Maybe we could do a thing, right? Maybe we can beat it, right? That's how you're gonna have to beat the thing. So
small problem, pretty much.
Yeah, small problem.
Granny comes in and says, "No training arc for you."
Yeah, whoop, shit. I guess the Granny shows up and is like, "Hey, I can curse people through our boy here. I could. Do you want to have a seizure, or do you want?"
A stroke
You're gonna
or a
blo-
heart attack, which is basically the
Yeah,
same thing.
stroke or a heart attack. Yeah, do you want a stroke or do you want a heart attack? And so the ultimatum has now been set essentially. Gonna have to go fight the Turbo Granny. So they suit up. They suit up in their fun attire, their kimono, funny attire, and they go on the train.
Because biking all the way is
And
in
typical Japanese fashion, everyone on the train seems relatively unfazed by what's going on.
Alright, so if you're sitting on the train for like 15 minutes, it wears off. I mean, one guy is taking a picture at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nretsew, did you see the after credits?
I did. I did see the after credits. Yes, well, I was about to talk about that, where she changes out of the costume, and it's like, nah, I'm gonna wear what I want to wear. Fuck that shit. And she changes into a more fashionable outfit. Yes, and that's kind of how the episode ends. And I think the one part that we kind of glossed over was we got kind of maybe not an explanation for the psychic powers, but a bit of a here's how it works mechanically, which I did kind of appreciate as an autist, right? Where they're like, hey, it's kind of like you have like everything has aura, right? And I can like see I have these like hands, right? And I use the hands to touch.
Do I have aura?
Or my aura. My aura. It's called aura. But no, but she uses the hands, and she's using the hands to stop the curse by like crushing the curse. But she can also like pick up rocks somewhat
by
and
the aura.
do things, and it's
grabbing you by the
it's
aura.
kind of by the aura, yeah. But it talks about how that's not like your main power, because you were invincible when it first awakened, and that's like you have like your true power, but it's been sealed away for some reason, and we need to like train it. Very shonen. Yeah, very shonen. You have this big power, but it's all kind of like sealed, and you have to slowly unlock it over time, right? And figure out, hey, how all upgrades, new thing now, yay, cool, big ability, I can shoot fireballs or something, right? So we'll see kind of how that progresses. I thought it was pretty good. Overall, good ep. It's still, it's still in the establishment.
Yeah,
it's a little slow. Yeah, it's a little slow, a little slow paced.
So now it's time to start critiquing, because the first episode the first episode was kind of a masterpiece in establishment and characters and one thing you want to care for them.
Yeah, it was very well directed, very well shot, very well directed, good pace.
So the second episode was basically was slow, but I liked it for them getting to know each other. And this episode had kind of less development in that way. It was more, it was all kind of set up to get to the point to fight Granny.
Yeah, and also a bit of exposition of here's like some world building. The powers work like this.
Granny does this in her spare time.
There's the concept of territories, and I can tap into the gods of this region, but I can't use their powers outside of the region, right?
And Granny is kind of the same, so it's
and Granny is the same, so you have to drag her out of the tunnel and take her outside of the city, otherwise she's going, to fucking wreck your ass, right? So there's a little bit of, this was mostly kind of an exposition-y type episode, I would say. Just kind of, here's some little bit more establishment. I wouldn't say it was bad, but I do agree it was quite slow.
I appreciate the continuation of the themes of, because this is still the themes. There was still a lot about, body discomfort. Hey, I'm going to have to watch you shit.
Yeah.
He's going to have to watch me.
I have no balls and dick. Because he doesn't have his balls
but that's not
anymore.
even the point of this episode. It's all of it's still very much about shame and body shame and all that stuff. And maybe the body shame part might be less important than watching the girl that now kind of like watching your body.
Watching you shit, yeah.
It's kind of more of the issue. But I appreciate that theme still continuing on. I do
too. Yeah, it's pretty good.
As story things. Granny won't disappear completely because he'll keep the powers somehow.
Yeah, because he needs to be able to still do fun fight stuff, shonen thing.
Yeah, and she needs not to constantly have her hands up like that.
Yeah, so there's gonna have to be some kind of resolution.
What I'm wondering though, is he an orphan?
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be we haven't really talked about his side of the family yet.
Yeah, because he is very. Apparently, there's no issue. He didn't have to call any parents or persons.
I mean, it could just be the classic Japanese, oh, my parents are on a business trip deal thing.
Well, even I feel that this series kind of has the respect for the characters or for the world to say something about that, right? That it does affect, Okarune's world, character, social experience.
Well, yeah. Well, we know he was a loner. So.
Yeah, but was he a loner because he has no parents and therefore he was searching for something somewhere, some connection?
Which is why he was after the UFOs. Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I guess we'll have to wait and find out.
All right. I feel like if next episode doesn't resolve it, it will be resolved at the next episode. The whole curse thing, right? That she doesn't have to cross his aura every waking moment. After that, or even before that moment where this immediate problem is resolved, his family situation will be revealed. I feel somewhere.
Maybe, yeah. We'll have to.
I am notoriously bad at predicting because the last time I was predicting this stuff, it was all wrong all the time, except for 2 times, I believe. Or it will just be a mystery the entire time, and it will be revealed in 100 chapters.
We'll never know. We'll never know.
Anyway, that was the.
But anywho,
you had something else in Nretsew.
Well, I got stuff that's not anime related to talk about, but do we have any other anime to talk about? No. Do you just want to? You don't, because it's been a dry season, really. Like, I haven't picked up any other animes per se.
I mean, I've been told that the magical girl company was nice, but I've not been watching 365 days.
This might be a quiet season. Might be a very quiet season for us.
I have seen some funny clips about the Amagami sisters. There's the VTubers in Demon Lord 2099. I've heard that on the movement of the earth is a neat thing. I have downloaded
Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball. We gotta watch Dragon Ball. We'll talk about Dragon Ball. Yeah, no. It might be a quiet season for us. We might just be watching Dandadan. Makes it easier on you, I guess, because you don't have to.
I don't have to go through 9 series of
screenshots. And it makes the streams shorter as well, so it's kind of good. Yeah, so anyway, I'll talk about. So I picked up Clans. I picked up the highly anticipated MW5 Clans. It's pretty good. Had some issues with performance at launch. They had a hotfix that came out that made it a bit better, but the tutorial level has really bad frame rate. Now I would say it right because I have Mercenaries and it's it's kind of based on the same kind of framework as Mercenaries. It is still a MechWarrior 5 game, right? So it's kind of like a side game to Mercenaries. So it runs about the same as it. When things get really fucking hot, it gets a bit stuttery, but for the most part, it's good. But it's very story focused. Because Mercenaries is more of like a sim, right? You have your mercenary company, and you go around and you take jobs, and the job, maybe the jobs have a little bit of story to them, or maybe there's like, oh, your dad got killed, and you have to revenge your dad, and you're building up your mercenary company to take on the other mercenary company and avenge your dad and get big mechs and. Now it's a big Star League conspiracy. I haven't finished the actual story in Mech 5 yet, but the Mech 5 is a lot more gameplay focused, right? Around, it's like you're right, a mercenary company sim, right?
Yeah.
Clans is very narrative focused. So you're following Clan Smoke Jaguar at the very beginning of Operation Revival, which was the clan invasion of the Inner Sphere. To kind of give you some context, because you probably have no idea the Chinese, the Chinese that I'm speaking. Hundreds of years ago, there was a big civil war in the Star League. The Star League is the EU, right? I'm going to try and put it in language you understand, right? So the EU, right?
Yeah.
Big civil war in the EU. Emperor of the EU gets killed, and the usurper, right, takes over, and so the army has to be like, oh shit, we have to get control again, right? In lieu of no emperor, what do all of the houses, the great houses, go? I want to sit on the throne. So big boy Kerensky, right? He goes, hey, fuck that shit. We're gonna get the fuck out. So they get on their ships and they get the fuck out, and they leave the Inner Sphere behind into the great vastness of space, right?
I have a MechWarrior game, and this kind of feels like what the intro has.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the Harebrained Schemes one. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So Kerensky fucks off with the Star League Defense Force, right? He sets up in the middle of nowhere, right? And then what ends up happening is one thing leads to another, and his son takes over, and they form what's called the clans. And the clans are their own thing with their own culture and their own stuff. But they have this whole thing about, oh, we have to go back to the Inner Sphere, and we have to fucking, these freeborn scum, eternal wars. Fuck that. We're gonna take control because we're cool, right? And so you're basically playing as one of these Clan Smoke Jaguar mech pilots, and you start off as like you're a trainee, and you have to go through like the trials to earn your rank, right? And you have to fight in this arena to earn your rank, and you get to become a Star Commander, right? And then right when you get promoted to Star Commander and you get taken in by your commanding officer, a ship shows up in Smoke Jaguar space, Ellie, but it's not a clan ship.
Oh no.
It's a ship from the Inner Sphere. Have they found out that the clans exist? Is this a precursor for the Inner Sphere invading the clans? What are we going to do? And so the Smoke Jaguar man, Sadiq, what was his name? Something Khan, because it's all the language. There's a lot of language and like vocabulary and mech in this, because the clans have really weird ways of speaking. So the Khan of Smoke Jaguar goes to the big meeting, and he goes, the Inner Sphere has discovered us. We can't pussyfoot around anymore. Fuck this. We got to go in and fuck them up and take command of the fucking Earth. Right? Yeah. Let's go. Let's do it. So they all decide, right? Yep, let's do it. And then the game kind of progresses from there. And it's been like, okay, here's like the invasion. We have to pacify this pirate world so that we can set up a logistics post so that we can get logistics going into the invasion force, right? Take command of that. And
all reasonable.
Yeah, but it is very narrative focused, because you have you and your crew. So you have you and it's called a star, but it's the squad, right? So your star it's 5 people in a star, including yourself, right? And in each of them, like, you've got your wise talking hacker man who's, got a chip on his shoulder because he inherits a very important family name and he's being forced to live up to it. I got introduced recently to there's a character who's like, she's an old woman in clan terms, because another bit of lore is like the clan, like the mech warriors in the clan society are genetically engineered tube babies, right? They're not born naturally. They are born via, we take the genetic material of our forefathers, right? The founders, and then we mix that with other genetics, and that creates super soldier, basically. Better human, right? Better human, supposedly. So that's why there's like an insult that's like free birth, right? You're acting like a freeborn. You're a freeborn, Ellie. You were born by normal conception. You're inferior. You're a freeborn, right? Why so this chick who's like been in, like, she was in a star, like in a different like gunnery thing, and then she got backshelled off to this other star. She's had a long career, but it's been really bad on her, and she's looking to make a name for herself in this new star, so that before she gets sent to the retirement camp squads, right? She's at least got some honor, because the clans are all about my honor, right? My honor. How dare you act dishonorably, you space pirates? You come and fight me like a real honorable warrior shit, right? Because it's all warrior culture shit, right? I haven't interacted too much with the other 2 members of the team, but they seem like they've got their own stuff. But yeah, very narrative focused. The cutscenes are kind of weird. It's got, because it's UE5, but the characters' lip syncing's not that great, and the facial expressions are a bit jank. They're a bit not the highest of budget. Like, it feels like you've given like a low budget team the high budget tools, and they're inexperienced with the high budget tools, so it ends up looking a bit jank, right? So, because they obviously don't have like the same level of skill as like some of these AAA studios that have had these tools for so long that they understand how to do like facial tracking and stuff really good, right? Or can spend the money on getting good actors to do good facial tracking and whatnot. So the cutscenes are kind of funny when you watch them, because like the characters' faces will just like not fucking look right. It's quite good.
Just for maybe a step back. I know the start of BattleTech. I played like 2 missions of it. Where in the timeline does it fit? Because
so I think that's like before this, because this is like, I can't remember when the BattleTech game takes place, but the clan invasion happens like quite later on. I don't remember the exact dates in the timeline, but I think it's before this, right? And it happens on the other end of the galaxy too. So.
That's an easy one, yeah.
Because the clans invade from the top of the galaxy on the map, and that game takes place at the bottom of the galaxy on the map. So
that's how you solve problems in your universe. Just have it take place on the other side of the galaxy.
I think it is kind of weird, because like if you look at a map of the inner sphere, right, obviously it has to be flattened. But when you think about space, right?
Yeah, it's 3D. It's messy.
I think the only thing that I've seen do that right is, I think, what's it called? Elite Dangerous. When you look at the map at Elite Dangerous, it's like, because it's a 3-dimensional map, it's like bubbles.
Yeah, but it's also
like there's all these bubbles.
A mess to look at.
It is a mess to look at, yeah. It's really fucking, yeah. So, yeah. I guess there's a reason you simplify it. But, yeah, so the gameplay is pretty similar to, it's basically MechWarrior 5. So mercenaries, except with clan tech. So you have, the clan tech is a lot more tankier. It's a lot better technology, because the clans are more technologically advanced than the inner sphere, because the clans haven't been like warring with each other for the last like 100 years. There hasn't been the technological like decline that happened in the inner sphere. So the clans are basically coming in with their shiny new toys and just wrecking house. And the inner sphere doesn't know what the fuck to do about it. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I'm going to keep playing it. I'm going to see how it goes. I might stream it, possibly.
It's
one of
to
the
be
two
fair to the
games.
audience, right? We have been saying we might stream.
I know,
stuff for the
I know.
longest
But my
time.
problem is, it's just like because like last week I had like an extra shift that I had to do, and I had to do a meeting thing, and I've had a lot of IRL stuff get in the way of like, you know, I have to like work out like a time when I can actually stream and then try and actually like consistently do it. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it. Because it's one of the two, like that and Reverse Collapse. Because I need to get back to Reverse Collapse and play that because I want to actually finish that game, but I haven't had the drive to do that yet. But yeah, no. So yeah, MW5 Clans is pretty good. I'd say it's worth picking up. It's, you know, it's on Steam, so yeah, it's all right. So yeah, I guess that's about it, is it? Because if we don't have any other anime, unless you've got
Secretly, I'm watching everything. No, no. No, I've too many games on Steam that I never played. I have not. I have not played enough. I've not gone much farther in Zelda. I've been, you know, people know. I played Noita. I got my gold run in Noita, and then I died, and I felt only a relief because that game went on for 12 hours plus easy. And in a single run, then that is. And then I died, and then I was happy that I died because it's stressful.
It's finally over. It's finally over.
You can always die. You can always die in Noita at a moment's notice. I almost died like 3 times while I was a god running around.
Yeah.
You're never safe. So when I finally died,
never safe. Yeah.
And then when I finally died, and I killed like almost all of the bosses, and went through 10 parallel worlds in a row and got all the perks that make me invincible to everything, and then I died, and I was happy that I died. That's how it goes.
As you do. But other than that, yeah, I don't think I have anything else. So if you don't have anything else, I guess we'll short stream this time. Short video, short stream. Maybe we need to start doing some of these longer videos we have in the queue since we've got all this time. Since we're not talking about anime, maybe we can do some longer ones because we do have a lot of longer ones in the queue that we've been putting off just because they're long. So maybe we'll pick one of them out.
I mean, it kind of depends on what we talk about. You know, a 5-minute video can lead to a 3-hour.
Oh yeah, it does always depend. But I think if we pick a longer video, we'll have a better chance.
We know it is.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. We'll figure it out. But anyway.
Oh no!
Oh no! Samuel's like, oh no.
Old meme.
But anywho, yeah, I guess we'll catch you guys next time then. It's been fun. It's been good. Yeah, it's been a fun time. So anyway, later.
Bye.
Bye.